Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pooja at A Book by the Window. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are reading good. I'm again seated at this couch on a random evening. It is actually around midnight and I have a new book review for you. But before that, I want to get into how tired I have been and what's going on in my life. I just ran a half marathon over the weekend and it was just the best of experience. I'm going to put up a vlog about it on my main channel that's in the description box below, and I had a ton of fun doing it. It was an experience in itself. So this girl has been tired, but today I want to bring you one of my most favorite books that got me back into reading so many years after I fell off the bandwagon. I used to read as a kid a lot, but somewhere down the line, because things were busy, I was working on giving my JEE. I needed to study day in and day night, and that is when I lost my, love for reading. There was no time for it, and then when I was in first year of my college, that's when I picked up one of Khalid Hosseini's book, which was A Thousand Splendid Suns. And then sometimes down the line, when I loved the book, I also picked this one, Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini, that I'm going to talk about in a bit. And this was one of the few times where my journey with reading began again, and I fell in love with it. I have been a reader all throughout my life. This is one of the things that is very close to me, and I attribute it to my character as much as breathing. And so this was a start of a new chapter, and with start of a new chapter you always remember the books that got you back into reading or means something to you. And this book in itself is very beautiful. It needs no introduction. It has probably been reviewed a million times before. I don't know what more I'm going to add to it, but I'm going to add why you should also read it and what is so special in a book that's so popular and so world acclaimed. It is almost like a modern classic at this point, and these are just my honest thoughts about it. I hope you guys like me talking about the books that I love talking about, and without further ado, let's get into the video. As you all might already know, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini is a deeply moving tale about Ahmed, the protagonist of the story, who is the son of a very wealthy boy in Kabul, Afghanistan, and his dear friend Hassan, who is the son of one of the servants in the household. And this story is through the eyes of these two kids who are seeing a lot of change in Afghanistan around that time, and it's heartbreaking. It is one of those tales that breaks your heart, yet it's so important to read in all times in life to know how different parts of the world experience pain and suffering differently, and it puts so many things in perspective that there's still so many things to be grateful for in the life that you live. We'll talk about the plot of the book first. The Kite Runner was first published in 2003, and it has now become a modern classic, one that constantly makes the list of 100 books you should read in this lifetime. So it is that popular, that good a book. And the story actually begins in 1970s Kabul. Our very own protagonist Amir and Hassan are inseparable from the beginning, from the day that they meet, despite the social divide that they have, that they experience, that adults in the family or around them practice every single day. They are just kids, they find each other as really good friends, and they play, they share secrets. They are their whole world in that age. They often participate in kite flying events, which is supposed to be a very joyful activity, but we'll find out how that will turn into something sad, something that's going to be a turning point in both their stories. A tragic incident involving Hassan and subsequent betrayal by Amir marks the end of their childhood friendship, and what begins is a long journey of Amir seeking redemption for this betrayal all throughout the tale. It wouldn't be up until years later when Amir and his father flees to the United States to escape the Soviet invasion, And that is when he is finding it difficult to adjust to a new life changes around him, that he's constantly riddled and overcome with his own guilt, and the past memory still haunts him of what he did to Hassan. The novel reaches its climax when a guilt-ridden Amir returns back to Taliban invaded Afghanistan in a final attempt to face his demons and make amends. We'll talk about the writing of the book now. Khalid Hosseini is one of those authors that weaves stories very beautifully. It's supposed to be a story that is bound to make you move, it's bound to make you cry, it's bound to break your heart. And the sign of a good author is one that touches the heart of the reader in ways that they never thought is possible. Everyone knows this is going to be a sad story, it's going to be full of turmoil, joys, and everything that comes in between. But Khalid Hosseini mixes cultural context in a backdrop of friendship between two kids, which is so unreal. When I first read the book, the first one that I read by Khalid Hosseini, A Thousand Splendid Sun, also touches subjects of history along the way, how the tale is progressing. And I honestly wasn't aware of all of these historical events that happened when Afghanistan was in so much turmoil, when Soviet Union invaded, when the American army came there, when Taliban took over, and what was the plight of the citizens there. What I also remember vividly is seeing that even through war struck land, even when there is so much chaos around, people definitely find a way to enjoy and love their life in the small moments that they can. That is the spirit of human resilience. And I'm not saying that it was glorified in one way or another, but it definitely normalized the people that were being described in the narrative as just being humans choosing to live their daily lives. Although some of the decisions are made for them, it was beyond their control. They are just families with kids with normal daily struggles of making ends meet, and in that they try to find some semblance of life, some love, some peace, and it just is two sides of the same coin. And Khalid Hosseini weaves all of these complex emotions in such a beautiful manner with analogies, metaphors, and lyrical prose that is certainly evocative. It moves you to tears. The story sticks with you long after you are done with it. So, that is definitely a sign of a very good author, and I would give 5 out of 5 to Khalid Hosseini just for that. I feel I always fall back to writing as the highlight, but the main highlight of the book for me is also the historical context, but a theme of redemption and second chances in friendship. You can very well imagine that these are not normal circumstances that they are finding friendship in, but we find that even with the special circumstances, with everyone trying to meet their own survival, there is some humanity left. And just for that humanity, people make mistake, but they want to redeem, and this theme is ever so present in the book. It's very evident from this quote, "There is a way to be good again," that resonates deeply with the readers. Amir's journey from guilt to redemption is so beautifully portrayed, and as we follow him along through this journey of turmoil and complex emotions, of survival and keeping his humanity intact, we are bound to think about what would we do in situations like these, and how there is still some room for forgiveness and second chances in this world. Another very popular and memorable quote from the book is, "For you a thousand times over," a quote that Hassan tells Amir despite the betrayal that he faces, and it is just a symbol of unwavering loyalty and love that Hassan has for Amir. It's such a poignant reminder of purity of Hassan's character, and as kids how we are very innocent and we always try to do the right thing, what we are taught as is our moral obligation, and hence his unwavering love for his friend and the depth of their bond. Well, of course, this book is a very remarkable one and a very popular tainted book, a lot of people's favorite. It surely is not going to come with its own share of lowlights. and I'm here to tell you what were the lowlights for me. I would say some of the readers might find the book too graphic and really heavy on the heart. It's not for the light-hearted, and when I say it, I mean it is definitely a book that everyone should be reading, but it comes with its fair share of trigger warnings. And if you're someone who doesn't do good with pain and suffering, I think you should give this one a rest. I have been at various points in my life where I do not get deeply moved with suffering that is being described like this, and I do not take it upon myself. And then I have been on the other side where I am dealing with grief and a lot of bad situations in my life, and I would definitely skip books like these because it triggers me a lot, and this has the potential to also trigger you. So if you're someone who is going through stuff in your life or are not able to get a handle on your emotional well-being, I would say do not read this one. And it has elements of sensationalism, where you know how certain pieces of writing are meant to move something in you, and they draw such a convoluted and deeply impactful narrative that you cannot escape. If you're a human, you can't escape thinking, you can't escape crying. You need to be very cold hearted if you find yourself not being moved. And if you're not getting moved, then what's the point of reading? It just feels like you're one of those people who want to discredit or discount a book just because you feel that it's fake and it is deeply sensationalized. I do not think so. It is written just from the perspective of, making people cry. These are real stories, and these are based on a lot of people's experiences. And I also believe the real stories are more haunting than the one that are described in the book. But what do we have to say for these things? We only have these stories to tell the tale of millions of people who go through these every single day. And with that said, that was one of the lowlights. And the other lowlight was it is slow paced at points. It is drawing into a lyrical prose where there's a lot of symbolism and there is a lot of complex emotions being described. I personally like it, but for some people it might come as a snooze fest. I know a lot of people don't like reading about sad stuff sometimes, or boring stuff, which is just pages and pages of description of emotions, what one meant or thought about a particular situation. I definitely love books like these, but maybe some people do not. So, this is just a warning that if you're someone who likes happy go lucky books, or there's nothing wrong with it, thriller or, fast paced fantasy books, then this one will bore you. That was my disclaimer to you. And with that said, I'm going to move to the conclusion, or what are my final thoughts about the book. So, definitely, this book is sort of like 4.5 stars for me. 4.5 star because I did like A Thousand Splendid Suns better than this one. More so because it was my first read by Khalid Hosseini, and secondly, it was from the perspective of women in Taliban occupied Afghanistan. So I was able to be moved more and relate more to that. But having said that, this is definitely a book that is popular for all the right reasons. Khalid Hosseini is definitely a very genius writer. He takes stories that are supposed to be daunting, that are supposed to haunt our mind and soul, and weaves beautiful stories around them that are a sure reminder of people being human first, trying to uphold the morality and the resilient spirit of being a human first. And that is what the beauty of the book is. It's also exploring the complexity of friendship, the importance of loyalty, and the long term impact of betrayal, and in the end, whether or not there is room for redemption for some things that you do in your life. The writing is evocative, it is very provoking. The characters stay with you long after you are done with the book. And even the story, the backdrop of Afghanistan, the historical context is something that I really enjoy, because this is how I learn about history. I cannot read non-fiction history books, but when I read it through the eyes of a story, these events stick with me, and I know more about these events in history that should be in popular media but are so often just ignored. And when I read books like these, I get to know more about the history of a culture, of a nation, of its demographic, of its politics, and all that has happened in the time that I wasn't even born before that. So all of these things I really enjoy, and this was one of the books that was packed with a lot of information, but also a lot of emotions and a lot to take home. I would highly recommend you read this book if you haven't already. If you haven't even come across this book, then it is a very surprising thing, because it is a very popular book. If you have and haven't been able to read it yet, this is your nudge, this is your reminder to get started on it, or maybe buy yourself that book. And if you have already read this book and loved it as I have, please let me know in the comment section below what you think about this book and get the conversation going. I always enjoy talking about books at length. This is what this channel is for, so I would appreciate if you will bring the discussion to the table like that. Thank you so much for making till the end of the video. If you really like this video, please like it, comment down below, share it with your friends, and if you would like more book related videos and more updates on it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. I've been having a lot of fun doing that. So join the channel, join the conversation, and you'll not be sorry. I'll take a leave for now. Bye bye, happy reading, until next time.